Hi friends, it's Josh here from Melbourne, Australia. Welcome to the Returning to Study podcast, a weekly audio show helping mature age and international students succeed in their tertiary education here in Australia. So my name's Josh. I myself am about to return to study as a mature age student, as a 30-year-old. In today's episode, I'm just going to lay out why I decided to start a podcast about returning to study. I already have 4 other shows. An extra commitment probably isn't exactly what I needed in my life, to be honest, with the study load that I'm about to move into as well. But essentially the reason why I thought it was important to get a podcast out there about mature age students and international students returning to study in Australia is because I found both the research into what I wanted to study and where I wanted to actually do that study, which university it was, pretty overwhelming. There were so many options and course codes and different methods of study. And also the technology of applying, choosing subjects, getting the course codes right, all that stuff, even for someone like me that is on the internet a lot with multiple podcasts and numerous websites, I found it really overwhelming myself. So I thought, wow, if I'm finding this confusing and overwhelming myself, it must be really confusing for someone that's maybe my age or even older that isn't as familiar with the internet. They must just find this completely mind-boggling, all of the options, and actually going into some of the student portals where you need to apply for certain universities these days. It's mostly done online when you're choosing subjects and all that kind of stuff. Really just confusing. I mean, I was confused. I had to send several emails to the university that I decided to go with as I'm moving into 2014. So that's why I decided to put the podcast together, so we can all share tips and tricks in how to succeed in our tertiary studies as a mature age or international student, and also how to have more fun while doing that. So not to get overwhelmed with the study loads, how to make friends, how as a mature age student not to annoy all the young students, which I guess was a concern of mine. And that's why I decided to go the distance ed route. And I might rethink that at some point in the future because it was probably a little bit of an antisocial decision. It's not going to be all serious. We are going to have some fun conversations on the show, but predominantly we'll be talking about short tips and tricks that can get you through your studies more effectively. And I'll also be featuring numerous special guests throughout the series. So I might just run down how the show will work. So if this is your first time with the show, thank you for listening. It's a good place to start. And in the next few minutes, you'll get an idea of how the show is going to run, where you can get it from, how often it comes out, all that kind of stuff. So it's a twice weekly show, meaning that it's going to come out twice in the calendar week, so Monday through Sunday here in Australia. I'm going to be releasing one episode on Tuesday morning at or before 6 a.m. and another episode on Thursday morning at or before 6 a.m. Australia time. So that's GMT plus 10. The show will be available for free, both on the website, returningtostudy.com. It'll also be in iTunes and SoundCloud, plus all of the other podcast catchers. So if you're using an app like Stitcher or TuneIn Radio or all those kinds of things, as the applications get accepted from those networks over the next few months, the show will start to appear in your preferred podcast catcher or radio catcher, whatever you use on your smartphone or tablet. And obviously, if you're on your desktop and listening, you can always go to either iTunes or preferably even to the website. Everything will be there. It'll be easy to find all of the other places you can get the show from that one call website, returningtostudy.com. So once again, the times the show will be out Tuesday and Thursday mornings Australia time at or before 6 a.m. And Australia time is GMT plus 10 here on the East Coast. So just a breakdown of maybe what we're going to talk to and what we're going to cover. There's going to be a lot of how-to study tips, so I'll be getting those both from my own experience as being a uni graduate back in the day, other uni graduates, people that are studying now using new technology and new resources. I'll also be bringing on past successful students and academics and all kinds of student service representatives, as many as I can find. That basically I want the show to be a holistic approach to going back to uni, because I know for me, even though I completed uni, I did quite well the first time round. It was still pretty confronting for me to think, wow, there's going to be new technology, a younger generation of people, maybe a completely different age group of academics working in those institutions now than when I was there. I myself am older. I have more commitments in my life. And if you're listening to this show, I'm assuming you probably do as well. There's a lot of decisions that have to be made. And I think if we work towards putting a resource together that's free for people to go to get insights into what the actual experience of returning to uni and or studying as an international student in Australia is like, that might actually negate some of those negative feelings that crop up when something big like going back to study pops up in your life. So that's essentially what the show will be about. I don't want to bore you guys to death today with an introductory episode, so I might just leave it at that. And if you do have any questions, or you are a mature age student or an international student who has or is planning to study in Australia, and you'd like to share some of your successes, some of your worries, things that might be confusing, or even just some of your struggles if you're a current student, you can always email me at joshuacliston@gmail.com. That's joshuacliston@gmail.com, or you can tweet me on Twitter @joshuacliston. So for all of today's links and resources, everything we talked about, and where you can get the show, whether you choose to go on the blog and download it or through iTunes or Stitcher or any of the other podcatchers, you can go to returningtostudy.com/1 for episode 1. So that's returningtostudy.com/1. So that's going to be the hub. Make sure you throw a comment in the blog there. Get involved in the discussion if you want to, or if you would like to add something. I'm always going to be checking that blog out at returningtostudy.com. So thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to hearing from you in the future, and I hope that you get a lot out of the show and it helps you to really succeed in your upcoming or current studies as a mature age or international student here in Australia. Okay, Josh here from Melbourne. I'll catch you later.